The movie begins with a girl named Baya entering a café. She asks the waitress if she can use the restroom. The waitress informs her that the restroom is reserved for café customers only. Baya realizes that she needs to buy something to be considered a customer and gain access to the restroom comfortably. The waitress insists that Baya must settle her bill at the cashier. Baya feels frustrated when she sees a long queue of people waiting for their turn. She pleads with the waitress to let her use the restroom first, promising to pay for whatever she buys afterward. However, the waitress ignores her and continues with her work. Meanwhile, a man named Bein stands near the cashier, observing the situation. He strikes up a conversation with Baya, pretending to be her husband. Since Bein has already purchased a drink and paid for it, he argues that it's within his wife's rights to use the restroom. The waitress reluctantly hands him the restroom key, and Baya rushes in quickly. After Baya exits the restroom, she finds Bein waiting for her, offering to buy her another drink. She thanks him and leaves. Bein notices sticky notes in her shoe and tries to warn her, but she surprises him by saying that if he had asked, they could have left together. Bein is taken aback by her speed but decides not to embarrass her. He admits that he would indeed have asked her to leave with him. Later, they go to various places together, both happy. As night falls, they return to Bein's apartment, sharing a meal. The next day, Baya wakes up next to Bein, careful not to wake him. She gets dressed and leaves while he's still asleep. Bein watches her walk away, realizing that he's bothered by her departure, but remains silent. Baya looks joyful as she walks, leaving Bein behind. She calls her sister and tells her about what happened. She says she met a handsome guy and was immediately attracted to him, but she doesn't tell her his name. She tells her sister all about what happened between her and this guy and how happy she was with him. Her sister advises her to go back and spend the rest of the day with him, and she listens to her sister's advice. She returns to another girl's apartment, but she is shocked when she overhears the guy talking about her to his friend, saying that she is boring and he's done with her. The movie begins with a girl named Bea entering a cafe. She asks the waitress if she can use the bathroom, but the waitress tells her it's for customers only. Bea realizes she has to buy something to be a customer and use the bathroom comfortably. She pleads with the waitress to let her use the bathroom first, promising to pay later, but the waitress ignores her. A man named Ben appears at the cashier, observing the situation and intervenes on Bea's behalf, claiming she's his wife and pays the bill, and she hands her the key to the bathroom. Bea thanks him and hurries into the bathroom. After she comes out, Ben offers her a drink, and after bidding him farewell, she notices tissues in his shoe and alerts him. Bea expresses her willingness to accompany him if he asks, which surprises him with her quick acceptance, but he shows understanding without embarrassment. They go out together and have a happy time, then head to his apartment and have dinner. The next morning, Bea wakes up and ignores a person sleeping next to her, puts on her clothes, and leaves, while Ben wakes up and watches her leave smoothly. Bea calls her sister and tells her about what happened. She says she met a handsome guy and was immediately attracted to him, but she doesn't tell her his name. She tells her sister all about what happened between her and this guy and how happy she was with him. Her sister advises her to go back and spend the rest of the day with him, and she listens to her sister's advice. She returns to another girl's apartment, but she is shocked when she overhears the guy talking about her to his friend, saying that she is boring and he's done with her. Bea wanders away from the place, utterly shattered after hearing Ben's heartbreaking words. 6 months later, Ben and his friend head to a nightclub, where they meet Claudia, Ben's friend's sister. Claudia introduces her girlfriend, Haley, who appears to be a mirror image of Bea herself, and it turns out that Bea is also present at the venue. Bea is shocked to see Ben in front of her, and Claudia, Haley, and Pete notice that Ben and Bea know each other. They separate from them to talk privately. Haley expresses her wishes for Bea and Ben to continue their relationship, affirming that she sees them as compatible. Bea seems very disturbed because of Ben, still remembering the things he said about her. Haley tries to provoke Ben, announcing to him that she's engaged, but Ben mocks her and asks her who the lucky person will be to marry her, to which Bea retorts that he'll come one day and find out. A year later, Bea travels to Australia for her summer vacation with her family and Claudia's family, her sister Haley's friend. Bea appears sad about leaving her fiancé, John, but she's surprised upon arrival when she finds Ben on the same plane and learns from him that he's also invited to spend the holiday with them. Ben begins his usual teasing of Bea, but she expresses her unwillingness to argue with him and asks him to leave her in peace. They are welcomed by Pete at the airport and taken to the house, where they meet Claudia and Haley, who take them on a sailing trip. Ben enjoys meeting Mary, Claudia's cousin, and her old friend whom he met last summer during his holiday in Australia. Mary expresses her great joy at meeting them and doesn't seem to mind Ben and Bea being together, while Ben still seems to have feelings for Mary, indicating that they are expected to have a lovely holiday together. As Ben is surprised by knowing Mary, his cousin's daughter, he feels inwardly disturbed but hides his feelings towards them. Later, Bea meets her parents, who inquire about her well-being after her breakup with John, but Bea reassures them and appears to lie, as she's going through the hardest days of her life, as evident when she enters the bathroom and silently cries. As evening falls, a party hosted by Claudia's entire family is held, but Ben and Bea clash, leading to a big fire that ruins the party. After the party, both families gather, and it seems that Ben and Bea can't stop arguing, breaking their devices. Caro suggests an idea to bring Ben and Bea closer away from the others to resolve their conflicts. Everyone agrees with the idea. The next day, Caro goes to fetch her forgotten glasses on the boat, discussing her plan with Ben and Bea to get them away from the place. Ben understands she's trying to distance them because of their actions at the previous party. Afterward, Ben and Bea decide to swim together to the boat, and while swimming, they feel guilty of what they did, and Ben shows fear of water, so Bea pulls him and swims with him to the boat. Upon their return, Bea's parents and John, her former fiancé, find them, and Bea feels annoyed because they invited him, suggesting a different idea to get rid of John. Ben agrees to play his part in this plan and confesses that he still loves Mary. After returning home, they pretend in front of everyone that they admire each other. Then Claudia invites everyone for a trip to the mountains, where Ben and Bea act as if they've been interested in each other for a while. But Ben is surprised when a spider enters his clothes, causing him to panic and immediately undress. Luckily, they were not seen, as they were busy with the koala on the tree. Then, Ben takes Bea, and they head to see her parents, and Bea lies when she tells them she loves Ben and that he helped her forget John completely, asking them not to worry about her because she had finally found her love that she had been searching for a long time. At night, everyone is on board the yacht on a trip to the middle of the sea, and Ben dances with Bea on the ship to show their happiness and enjoyment with each other. After that, they show a scene from the movie Titanic, displaying happiness and joy in front of the audience, except Mary and John, who are angry to discover that Ben and Bea love each other. After everyone leaves, Ben and Bea remain to enjoy their time, but Bea loses her balance and falls into the water. Despite Ben's fear of water, he jumps in after her to rescue her. Bea is amazed by his bravery and admits she's surprised by his action. Afterward, they return together until they reach the rescue mark, where others watch them and call for help. Bea tells Ben she has decided to leave law school without her parents' knowledge and feels scared of their reaction when they find out because they always hoped she would become a lawyer like them, saying she's confused and unable to plan her future well. Ben consoles her and advises her to look for what she truly loves and strive to achieve it. At the end of the day they spent together, Ben apologizes to Bea for the words he said to his friend, but he tells her that he said them according to the circumstances. At that moment, Bea was deeply affected by his statements, as she was genuinely fond of him and wished to spend more time with him. Bea rejoiced at his words in front of the opera house view, telling Ben that she prefers visiting this place because she feels comfortable there. As they were on their way, Ben felt tense and his fear of heights was evident, so Bea sang his favorite song to calm his nerves. Indeed, Ben's nerves settled thanks to the song, and they sang it together, surpassing the peak of happiness. When they returned home, Ben prepared the food he had made, while Bea truly enjoyed the time she spent with him. They enjoyed their time together so much that they spent the rest of the night together in Ba's room. However, Bea woke up in the middle of the night to find that Ben had left without informing her, leaving her frustrated because she didn't know why he left. The next day, Ben met with Bea and asked him if he felt happy with her. Ben replied that he wasn't sure if he truly loved her or if it was just an interaction. Pete was annoyed by his words and demanded that he get rid of his pride and confess his love for her. At the same time, Mary met Bea and asked her about her relationship with Ben. Bea replied that they were just friends, but she was shocked when Mary told her that she was still attracted to Ben and wanted to get back to him. Bea refused the idea of bringing them back together and felt shocked to the point where it was difficult to respond, telling her that she wouldn't be upset. Afterward, Bea discovered that her parents knew that she had left college and remembered that Ben was the one who told them, which made her feel betrayed and angry. Ben tried to apologize to Bea and explain to her that he didn't mean it, but she refused his apology and insisted on not speaking to him. After that, she told everyone that she knew they were trying to bring her closer to Ben and confirmed that she couldn't love someone like Ben. The next day, everyone was invited to a party at Mary's house, where Mary danced with Ben and told him that she had discovered over the past few days that she loved him and missed him terribly, then tried to get closer to him. But when Bea saw them together, she felt annoyed and left the party, and at that moment, Ben apologized to Mary and told her that their relationship was just memories of the past. After that, Bea walked down the street, sad and looking for a taxi, and when she sat in it, she collapsed and began to cry because she had truly loved Ben and did not expect him to betray her in that way. At the same time, Ben sat alone, also sad because of Ba's departure, so Carol approached him and told him that Bea still loved him and that she had left the party after seeing him with Mary dancing with her. That Bea was changing for him because she loved him, then asked him to go and confess his love to Bea. Based on her words, Ben convinced Ba's love and made a bold move by jumping from above the mountain and landing in the sea, which caused concern among the attendees who went after him to rescue him, and after a while, the rescue plane arrived and pulled Ben from the water, and when Ben managed to reach the plane, he asked the pilot to take him to the opera house. The pilot was surprised by his request but agreed when he learned that his girlfriend was there and that he wanted to reconcile with her. And Bea knew that Bea would be at the opera house because she had previously mentioned that she loved visiting that place. At that moment, Bea stood in front of the opera house and saw Ben coming down from the plane and rushing towards her. So she smiled at him and rejoiced because Ben came to her. And as he approached her, she said to him with a smile, "You are really crazy." To which he replied that he was indeed crazy because he had left her for a long time and told her that he loved her and wanted to marry her, and she happily agreed. Then they returned to the party and danced together to the song they loved and ended the movie.